The purpose of this video is to explain how the Capital Vending Universal Cigarette Control Board works, go over some programming as well as some troubleshooting. On this table for this video I currently have the kit plugged in, and this is a complete kit. Yours might vary a bit in its appearance. Here we have a display. In a few instances, because this is a universal board kit, we have had customers say this doesn't exactly fit properly. On future kit models, the board will be smaller, so if this doesn't match the size of your display, it's because we've run out of this stock of these and redesigned it for smaller size. The display right now is showing $7, which is what your customer would see as the program vend price. Here we have the control board. The top connector right here goes to the coin input, which is a quarter input. Then we have this connector right here, goes to 120 volt Mars bill validator. Here is our primary input-output harness. Harness right here runs to our LED display. Here we have 120 volts AC coming to power the board. I'm going to go ahead and go over, discuss kind of how the board is programmed. Right here there's a 12 position dip switch bank. When the dip switch is turned on, the corresponding value is active. So the value of each switch here is printed. It's like 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160, 320. The highest switch value here is 1260. So by turning the switches on, the total of the switches turned on is the value of the vend. It is important because this accepts quarters only. You must price it. You can't price this, for instance, for $11.20. You have to price it for $11.25. If you do not price it in quarter increments, you'll have a status LED that's right here, and that'll blink 5 times, meaning it's essentially impossible value. So you have to have it in quarter increments. It does allow overbuy. So if you have this priced at $11.75 and somebody put $12 in, you would be fine with that. This extra harness right here, if your jurisdiction requires a minor lockout, we have a radio control minor lockout or a hardwire minor lockout that's available as an option. The minor lockout is switch number 10 on the control board. In the event that that's turned on, then the minor lockout would be active, and somebody behind the bar or in management would actually have to push a button to close that switch. The next two switches, 11 and 12, are something what we call failed vends. So essentially with that, I'll kind of go over that in the future segment of this video, but with the failed vends, if somebody's trying to kind of pull the knobs on your machine and cheat your machine, that can be used to shut down the control board. When we ship this board, it will be set for $7 vend. It will also be programmed for like 5 allowed vends. And I'm going to, basically what that would be, if somebody's pulling the knob on your machine and they pull it 5 times after they've inserted enough money and they don't complete the vend, then we kind of feel that they're trying to shake and get cigarettes out of the machine. On some machines you're able to kind of manipulate them. You are actually, dip switch number 11 is 5 failed vends, number 12 is 10 failed vends. So if you had just switch number 12 on, it would allow 10 attempts, and if you put 11 and 12 on, it would actually permit 15 attempts to vend. At that point somebody's definitely trying to manipulate your machine, so 5 failed vends would be enough to protect your valuable inventory. So now kind of want to come over here to the sidewall, and this is essentially our universal sidewall. If some cigarette kits that you would be installing, for instance, would be a Venco or a dollar bill changer or a cigarette machine that had never been updated, when you order the kit it would come with this sidewall. I'm kind of going to talk about it. Most of our customers, or a lot of our customers, use a BillMate, which was more popular. When you have the BillMate machine, you actually do not need to order this sidewall. What you would do, it would come, you would have the harness, and here you have your blue and brown wires, and this essentially is what we would call the lower switch, or a switch that's closed in the BillMate. This is going to be your upper switch. So at the end of the vend, this switch gets closed in a bill mate. So the white and the black wires would go on the upper switch on a bill mate. Within the bill mate, you would already have a solenoid. So you would have your 2 wires here. And then if you're going to accept quarters, like when we send this kit, it does have a quarter switch. With the price of cigarettes, a lot of our customers are doing cash only, but we do offer like a quarter roll down. So if you needed to accept quarters, the yellow and orange wire would go to the common and normally open on your coin acceptor. So again, if you're doing a Venco kit, this whole metal slide plate goes onto the sidewall of the cigarette machine. It's also important that on the sidewall of your cigarette machine, that essentially this kit is set up for it to be a factory configuration. So you're going to have a shaft that comes through here, and with this sidewall you get a little 90-degree metal bracket that at rest is going to be mounted so that this switch is held in the closed position. Because in the event after a vend, if that piece of metal doesn't come here and close this switch, then we know that there's a pack of cigarettes jammed, and we're not going to allow it to take any money. This universal metal bracket is designed so that it will fit in a 222 as well as an 800. These 2 screws right here, if you were to put it in the model 800, these screws are loosened and they're set into this position. These 2 screws are loosened, and then the solenoid is moved forward this direction so it lines up with the arm on the 800. With this bracket, there's typically 3 fingers in the cigarette machine. We're using these 2 screws to push and hold the fingers in place. Here, I guess we have an adjustment for the sidewall. So these screws right here, you'll need to adjust on a machine-by-machine basis, and they need to be very tight. So this adjusts the throw of the solenoid. What's very typical, if the solenoid is too close, when the credit is established, you'll hear a loud buzzing, and then that's kind of putting a lot of wear on the solenoid, so we don't want to do that. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and do a sample vend with you. This typically would be closed. If you're setting this in your machine and you don't install the arm to push this closed, the bill validator will not come on and accept money. Once I push this, now I'm going to be able to put money in. So the customer now, when he walks up to the machine, he sees the price was at $7, so that way you don't actually have to put a label on your machine. As I insert money, this amount will increment up. So now this will be the final bill. So now, I don't know if on the movie this solenoid is actually engaged, so it's putting out a lot of resistance here. Within the machine, you would have your black end arm will come off of this arm and hit this cancel. So once I do cancel, this right here, the spring is released, so the customer has gotten 1 vend. So the metal arm here has gone from here, close this, and that your vend is over. Then your display is going to reset back to $7. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you the safeguard we put in here will cause a failure, which we call, it'll put up a status on this being 3, and this is just a clue that someone at your location is trying to steal from your machine. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that would happen. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and do another vend. So I'm coming to $7. Now my solenoid is energized. So typically this arm right here in the machine is held, and when the customer starts to move it, this will energize. If they don't hit this switch, it doesn't cancel the credit. So what people try to do if they're trying to pull the knob, they essentially will, now I've released this 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and that was the 5th switch closure. So here I've gone to a code 3. So this right here is what I call 3 failed vends, that someone's kind of trying to basically manipulate your machine. You can program this for up to 10 or 15 attempts. When this code appears, this is going to put your machine out of order. So in other words, your service person would come here, hit the reset button, and now it's going to go back into operation. In the event that you trusted the location, we can also hardwire the reset switch so your customer can have a remote button to push or a key switch, just to avoid your service personnel from driving to the location. But again, when you're getting that code 3, somebody's trying to get a hold of your valuable inventory. This control board will price to over $20 per pack. It's designed to work with, again, a 120 volt Mars validator. You can use the AE, the VN. When you're using the AE validators, which are typically designed for an amusement interface, they need to be set for 1 pulse per hour and harness enable. And then you would use the dip switches to select the bills that you would accept. On an AE 2600, you want to be a little careful not to take a $20 bill if you're selling cigarettes for $10 a pack, because somebody would lose $10 and may expect to get change. The final part of this video, I'm going to show you how to get the meter reading. So this is going to have a non-resettable meter reading that you're going to use to track the people filling your machines. That is for your internal controls. Basically what you do is you'll hit the reset button and then push and hold the input button. I may have just missed that for the movie, so I'm going to hit my reset button. So I have to push reset. So here, a total of 5 packs have been sold. I'm going to show you like an additional way. Like there's a little bit of like timing between hitting reset. You kind of have to hit the input button within 2 seconds. So now I have my meter reading. Then I'm going to hit the reset button, and then this goes back to the vend mode. The second way to get the meter reading, if you turn the board off, and I'm going to push and hold this input button, restore power, and then it's going to default to the 5. A couple extra steps. This way you're not worried about going from one button to the other button. Again, 2 ways to get this meter reading. If you push the reset button and then come with a pen or a pencil eraser, push and push and hold this input button, it'll give you your meter reading. Or if you have the board off, then you hold the input button, turn it on. This is going to give you the total amount of packs sold. So hopefully that'll give you an overview of how to install our universal cigarette board kit in your cigarette machine.